What up? What's up? What's popping? Top of the top. What up? I see the bros in here early, and I'm kind of late. ABGBK all day. Allen, Mr. X. What up? And I know I probably threw some people off because I was late. What up, Cozy? I had a weird morning this morning. So, I got to tell y'all about that real quick. Now, check this out. I checked the clock like around 3:38 because I woke up in the middle of the night. But then when I got up at my usual time of 5 o'clock, the power was out. I said, oh man, something ain't right. So I said, let me go to Dunkin' real quick, try to get me some coffee, see what's going on out here. And I seen it was certain places where the power was out, and some places it was still on. Then I seen the lights going out right in my face. The power was cutting out. The light went out, the stoplight. I seen the church lights went out in their parking lot, you know what I'm saying? And I thought I wasn't going to be able to do this show this morning because I was running late. So called the power company. They was like, yo, the power not going to be on at between 10 and 1 o'clock. So I thought I was going to be late. Then all of a sudden around 6 o'clock, the power came back on. So that had me behind the 8 ball. But at first, I'm going to be real, I thought I was not going to be on until later on or something like that. But anyway, I'm here, and that's why I'm late. ASAP Auto, what's popping? Hurricane J Dub. Day one, Cali Fields. Yeah, we're going to have a good show today because it's Friday. We made it through another week. And y'all know we got some things to chop up and talk about. Some things that we've been talking about has been coming to pass. Because when you look at the future, you can already see what's going to happen when you're thinking 10 steps ahead for my people that know how to play chess. Anyway, we about to get started. It's the For No Fame Live episode 108. And I'm going to be talking about Suge Knight, how his attorney has pleaded guilty to conspiracy and perjury charges. And he lost his bar. He can no longer be a lawyer in the state of California. Good morning, Miss Lay Jones. What's up? John Shav, Andre Townsend, J.E., what up? I'm also going to be talking about R.Kelly, Mr. R.Kelly, the Pied Piper. He has now dropped his lawyers, and he's now going to be trying to get the same lawyer that got Bill Cosby out of jail. The one that won Bill Cosby's appeal, R. Kelly is now trying to get that lawyer. R. Kelly is scared to death, and he still faces 10 years in Chicago. For those that don't know, for everybody that say he's innocent, well, R. Kelly, not only has he been convicted in the state of New York, he still faces charges in Chicago. For all you R. Kelly lovers. I'm also going to be talking about the 11 WOO Gang members that have been arrested, and we're going to go into a breakdown of what actually happened. It's not hard. We're going to talk about certain things that happened within that case, meaning I'm not going to speak on the actual case, but everything I'm going to speak on is public information, and we're going to take a dive into this world of so-called being gangster and get into the bag. We're going to get into that, and I'm going to show you how ain't nothing new, ain't nothing changed, ain't about no old and young. Only thing that's changed is the principles and how people move. That's it. I'm gonna prove that today. I'm also going to be talking about Black Lives Matter once again, because it's been reported that they have scammed for more than $65 million. Good morning, Miss Deja. So you might as well say today is the criminal episode. You might as well say this is the criminal conviction episode. This whole episode is going to be about the downfall of people. But guess what? Most of their downfall came from their own stupidity. So that's where we at right now. That's right. The Forno Fame Mafia is in the building, and they still going to be pulling up, and y'all going to catch this on the replay. So y'all already know what time it is. Shout out to my day one supporters, and shout out to everybody that's new. Y'all already know how I do. And we about to start with the drama. Let's get it. Boom. This might as well be called a lockup episode. Now we're going to get into all of these different individuals we see right here. We're going to see how nothing has really changed in the world. Only thing that's changed is how people move. And I'm also going to show you proof how everything that's been going on has finally come to an end, and it's going to keep coming to an end because things are changing. I've been researching this stuff for the past couple of years, and I've seen how things is moving. That's why I had to move with the times, and I had to change my ways and upgrade, you know what I'm saying, my database. Everything has to be updated. You did, you know, your phone, everything has to be updated. Especially your lifestyle, the way you think, everything has to change. If you don't change, you're not going to make it. I don't care who you are, what you think you got going on. Everybody and everything has to change, or eventually it will die. These are facts. So the first story we're going to start with, we're going to go into Suge Knight. And we know Suge Knight was the boss of the West Coast. He was the big bully. He was the big businessman. A lot of stories you heard about Suge Knight was mostly negative, even though he did do some positive things. But we all know that most of his negativity outshined his positive efforts. And for those that don't know, Suge Knight is in jail facing a life sentence. And to show you how time flies, Suge Knight has already been locked up for 5 years, going on 6. Just to give you an idea how fast time flies, especially when you're wasting your life. But anyway, Suge Knight's former attorney has pleaded guilty to conspiracy and perjury charges after prosecutors claim he tried to bribe witnesses into lying for Suge Knight in his murder case. His lawyer name is Matthew Fletcher. He's 57 years old, and he is now barred from practicing law for life. Fletcher was charged with accessory after the fact in Suge Knight's case and faced an additional count of bribery related to testimony given in front of the State Bar of California in 2016. Now, recently, he has reached a plea deal in a 2-month-long trial and pleaded no contest to 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct justice and 1 count of perjury. And he is being placed on probation for 5 years, and he must now resign from the State Bar for life. So what we're looking at is a lawyer that indulged in criminal activity, lying on the stand, trying to bribe witnesses. But he did all of this trying to get Suge Knight out of this case. He tried to help Suge Knight beat this murder case, but he did not only try to beat it in a court of law. Basically, Suge Knight was using him to do a couple of dirty things like pay witnesses off, things like that. Then after this man was charged, he fought the case for 2 months and got on the stand and lied and got caught. So now we're looking at a lawyer, a man who was supposed to be clean, legit, He got dirty for the cause, and now he can no longer practice law in the state of California. So basically, he's considered a dirty lawyer now. And basically, he threw his whole career down the drain. But guess what? We already know about foul lawyers. We've been knowing this a long time, that a lot of lawyers are grimy. You got lawyers that'll take your money knowing they're going to send you up the river, and they'll let you pay them and get all that money up. And the whole time, they behind the scenes talking to the judge, the DA, the opposite prosecutor. They go behind the scenes and work out deals to stuff their pockets and send you up the river. That's why you'll see a lot of dudes that did get life in jail, did get a lot of time. Some of them did have paid lawyers, and they still got smacked with a lot of time because the lawyers booked them and robbed them. Because guess what? As you see, some lawyers will do anything as long as they keep that bar. Meaning, as long as they can practice law, they don't care about you, what you got going on. They just want that money. That's what pays their bills. And most lawyers, their dream is to have their own law firm eventually, and they will do whatever they got to do to get their money up. And sometimes they get caught with their hands in a cookie jar of doing foul activity. So remember, y'all know the game. For those that have been in trouble or not even in trouble, any situation you've been in with lawyers, you know your lawyer, you're supposed to tell your lawyer everything. You're supposed to tell him everything that happened, every detail, and then he's going to fight for your defense. But a lot of times y'all see that you could tell your lawyer everything and he won't do nothing for you. And the whole point is sometimes you could tell your lawyer everything and they'll go behind the scenes and tell the judge, you know what, he actually did do it. He did it. So this is how we're going to play it out. I'm going to give you a cut of this money. I'm going to give so-and-so a cut of this money. And this is how we're going to do this. That's why they always have meetings behind the scenes, allegedly. But my point is, a lot of lawyers are dirty. And they like to push the limit. Because you got to understand something, which some of y'all already know. The people that make the law break the law. The people that know the law, sometimes they're the ones that break it the most and the best. Not all lawyers are shiesty. Not all, people that deal with the courtroom are dirty. But it's a percentage of them that are dirty. And they know how to cut corners, how to finesse. But the whole purpose of a lawyer is to take your money. And sometimes they'll pick up your case and know damn well that you're not going to beat it. But they'll let your people sell their house. They'll take all your payments up and knowing you're going to get sent up the river. Now, the good lawyers, you got the real, I'm going to show you the good lawyers. The good lawyers, if they feel like they're going to lose, they're not going to take your case because they don't want to have that loss on their record. Or they don't want to just sit here and try to defend anybody and make their career look bad. So the real good lawyers, they're not going to pick up any case unless they got an idea they can beat it. But them grimy, filthy lawyers, they'll take your money knowing damn well you're going to go to jail. That's how it works. That's right. It's the money game, Ms. Jones. It's the money game. Lawyers go to school for all those years to pass the bar to get paid. And they will jerk you. They will trick you up. They'll get you to tell on yourself. Because I'm going to be real. Especially if you know you're guilty and you know you did something foul, you're not supposed to tell the lawyer because he's going to tell on you. And then he's going to come at you with a plea deal. The reason why he's going to come at you with a plea deal and he's going to tell you he don't think you got a chance of beating this because he already done told a lawyer what you told. He done told a judge what you told him already. Allegedly, that's how it worked. In some cases when you got corrupt lawyers. So I got to clarify that. But some people will sit there and tell their lawyer everything. And you think just because you pay him $50,000, $20,000, $5,000, you think because you pay him money, you're going to sit there and tell a lawyer everything and you still go to jail. He book you and you out of here. Why you think some people, when they have a lawyer in the middle of their trial, they'll peep the lawyer moving shady and they'll fire him on the spot and then get another lawyer. Even though some people also do that to prolong their case. Keep firing lawyers, switching it up. R.Kelly is doing that right now, and I'm going to get to him. But Suge Knight Lawyer, the man you see in his picture, he was a slime bag, and he got caught because he was trying to bribe witnesses to not testify against Suge Knight. Now, let's keep it real. On a street level, he did what a good lawyer is supposed to do on the street level. Like if I was in the life of crime and I had my lawyer and I'm going to tell my lawyer, pay that boy off so he won't come to court. Pay so-and-so off so they won't come to court and testify. But according to the legitimate lawyers, he was grimy because he's not supposed to be doing that. And he got caught. And he could be the same lawyer that already knew Suge Knight was going to get a lot of time and already knew he could not get Suge Knight off them charges. And he still picked up that case just so he could take all Suge Knight money. Because if you ask me, in my opinion, that whole situation with Suge Knight was shady. And I feel like he was set up anyway. That's how I feel. Because when you go back into the situation, you're going to understand that it was people that called Suge Knight to show up at that event. This go back to when they were shooting the NWA movie. They said it was people that called Suge Knight to pull up. And when he pulled up, they started surrounding him. And then it's an individual that tried to pop off for him. The homie by the name of Bone from Athens Park. You know, the one that played in Training Day that was talking to Denzel. When he came to the hood, when he came to the jungle, he was talking to Bone. That's the dude that swung on Suge Knight and tried to put hands and try to, beat Suge Knight up. So Suge Knight felt like he was being ambushed and he backed up. And when he hit the back, he was trying to run dudes over and get up out of there. But he did use his vehicle as a weapon, allegedly, because he was being ambushed in his car. That's the part they're not going to tell you. And Suge Knight was called down there. And he thought everything was going to be cool. But it went left. So we can look at this right now. We actually could say if Suge Knight would have never pulled up to that NWA movie scene, he would be out right now. But you got to understand, in my opinion, he was set up. Because he thought he was going to pull up and they was going to have some conversations. It was broad daylight. So it's not like he really came out there deep to put a lot of work in. He pulled up to the movie set and all of a sudden he was in a situation about to be ambushed. So he hit the gas and tried to run dudes over to get up out of there. And sadly, somebody died. But what people don't understand is it was people trying to beat on him and trying to put hands on him. So that's why I tell you this is a messy situation. And this also proves that when I told y'all that whenever people want you gone, they'll find a way to get you up out of there. And we know they wanted Suge Knight gone for a long time. They've been wanting him gone. So his lawyer that you see in this picture, he tried to go out and pay witnesses. He tried to bribe witnesses with cash. And under the table, he tried to help Suge Knight beat this case. But at the same time, he also could have just been trying to get paid off Suge and could have also been trying to help him get sent up the river because we see he was not a good lawyer because Suge Knight still got that time. Good morning, Rondell. What's up? What's up, Queen? So once again, we already know that Suge Knight had to go eventually because remember before that, it was dudes trying to fight him, trying to punch him, trying to beat him down. Y'all remember that one time Suge got shot up? I think at the Chris Brown party, something like that. Wherever Suge would pop out, somebody would try to get at him. So they've been trying to get him up out of LA because some people felt like as long as Suge was free in LA was not, he still had a finger on the city. That's why you'll see ever since Suge Knight been locked up, you've been seeing everybody and their mother going to LA. You seeing a lot of rappers in LA that was scared to go. You see a lot of people move to LA that was scared to go to LA because when you went to LA, you had to be good with Suge or you had to check in with somebody. And we already know you still got to check in with somebody because we see what happened to Pop Smoke. And people think that whole checking in situation mean that you a sucker, but it don't. It's a level of respect, which also means you got to be tied in. If you a street dude and you from the street, wherever you go at, you're supposed to be tied in with somebody. In case you need something, in case you need to make certain moves, you can make phone calls and make stuff happen, but that's really considered boss moves. It ain't got nothing to do with being no sucker checking in. See, once again, I'm going to show you how they got the game messed up. The game ain't changed, only the players change. You already heard that. The NBA is still the NBA. Ain't no different from when Michael Jordan played to now LeBron playing. The only thing changed is the players. NFL, the drug game, whatever game you want to call it, ain't nothing changed. It's just the players. And a lot of time, the players try to make their own rules. And the players try to set their own trend. But the game don't ever change. So when you go from state to state, city to city, you make certain phone calls, or you call so-and-so, you let so-and-so know we out here, that's called tapping in. Checking in, if you want to call it that, but it's really called boss moves to show that you connected everywhere you go. But the new generation has been tricked to think that when you tapping in, that's a sucker move. That's why they get robbed and killed and beat up and violated, because they come into people's city and town and they're not, you know, basically you trying to come to my city and get more clout than me when I run the city. You trying to come to my city, smash my chicks, turn up at my club. You trying to turn my city out, hold my city hostage for a day, make it all about you, and you ain't even checking with the people that run the city. That's how it's always looked at. When the whole time, if you tap in, you'll have more connections and people, you know, they'll respect you. And now they're going to roll the carpet out for you and say, look, this is how we do in my city. I got your back. We good. What you need. Then when you leave, all you got to do is make a phone call. You tapped in. But see, the new generation, if you want to call it that, they was taught opposite. Actually, they was taught everything opposite. And I'm going to get into that in this whole episode. How the game didn't change. It's just that the new era has been flipped and finessed and tricked. And they don't know what's solid from what's not. They don't, because remember, this generation don't like to pay homage. They don't like to pay respect. They don't know how to stay off the radar. They don't understand the whole movement of street activity is mafia, which means moving behind the scenes in the darkness. Everything is not to be explained or exploited or told. That's what they don't understand. That's why I'm going to get to all of that. That's why with certain things done that will never be explained. Y'all right now watching this video, y'all from all parts of the world, and y'all know it's things that you heard about that happened in your neighborhood, in your city, and y'all still don't know who did it. You still don't know how this happened like that. How this person ended up in a field, how this person ended up somewhere in a river, how them people died in their home. Or you got people that went legit, never went to jail, and you still understand how they was able to make all that money back in the day, and now they legit chilling because people moved a certain way. And everybody that was in the game didn't fail. That's what some people don't understand, because people knew how to move. Everything wasn't a commercial. Everybody didn't get their game from TV. You got people that pay homage to their elders, and their elders and OGs taught them the game, and they followed them same steps, aka called passing that torch. And they learned from some of the best and did it the best, and some of them are still walking around right now. It's called a chain of command. That's what it's called. But the point is, you also supposed to learn from the people that came before you. You're supposed to what? Learn from the mistakes they made. And when you don't learn from the mistakes you made and you do the same exact thing, or you do it even worse, that makes you a dummy. And they also tell you what? You can learn a lot from a dummy. So you can learn from other people's mistakes without having to go through the same thing. So that's why we looking at Suge Knight. We see how he tried to run the world or run the whole West Coast off Deboism. Fear, because he came up in a time, or some of us was taught that fear lasts longer than love. But I've been knew better than that. So when people fear you, they'll kill you faster. People that love you will protect you. I learned that a long time ago in the game. But you'll learn everybody that try to live off that fear, having people shook, scared to death, you'll see most of them, they get their head put on the ground or they get snitched on. They go to jail because of that fear. But when people love you, they'll try to protect you. When people love you, God forbid if something bad happened to you, they're going to speak up in your defense. So my point is that Debo stuff don't work. Not no more. Now that's something that ain't gonna work no more. Now you gotta understand, you gotta respect people. When you respect people, they'll respect you, and that's how you create love. And you gotta worry about nobody always taking a shot at your face. You don't always gotta worry about somebody trying to take you out, trying to set you up. Only when you live foul, you always gotta worry about somebody trying to set you up. Because remember, when people fear you, they're not going to face you straight up. They're going to come at you sideways. They're going to always try to put you in a Peter twist. You dig? When they fear you. But when people love you, they can't wait till you pull up. They can't wait till they see you because they know you got something good to bring. They know you always got a good energy around you, and people embrace you, and people will actually look out for you. Yo, so-and-so and them plotting on you. Yo, so-and-so and them, they trying to do this and do that to you. So when people love you, they'll protect you. You dig? When people love you, they say, yo, the police watching you. Or yo, the police trying to get me to tell on you. There are people that confront you. But when people fear you, that just increases the whole agenda of getting you out the way. And that's what happened to Suge Knight. Because they already knew he had to get out the way in order for LA to be where it's at right now to this day. If Suge Knight was out, we can't even say if that Super Bowl would have took place like that. Because you got to remember when Suge Knight was free, Dr. Dre was hiding. Y'all remember when Dr. Dre came to that award show and Suge Knight got the goons to run down on him. It was already set up where the goons was going to run down on Dre wherever he went, as long as he was in LA. We also know people like Puffy could never move around comfortably in LA. A lot of people couldn't. But it's just my opinion. But my point is, Suge Knight represents that Debo mentality or that gangster persona of fear where people don't want you around no more. And it also does come from learning to be humble. Like I know I talk about, Suge Knight never learned how to humble himself. Because if he would have learned how to humble himself, he wouldn't have had so many enemies. That's why you're going to see most of the people that always try to be big and bad or live behind that big and bad persona, you're always going to see eventually they're going to meet their downfall. And that's what I call when a person feel like they're unfadable or they can't be touched or they can't get dealt with or they think they're above the law. You'll see those individuals always fall bad and hard. And guess what? When them people fall, the people start celebrating. The people be real happy and joyful when, it's like when the wicked witch is dead. Everybody starts celebrating. So that's why I'm trying to tell certain people, when you try to live in that persona of being a top dog, the top shotter, and you want everybody to fear you, you'll get further, when people got love for you. Because when people scared of you, all they're going to do is plot on your demise. That's it. What up, 1090 boy? What up, bro? What's good? That's the homie. What up, Queen of Attraction? Vlad Riot. Family is here. I see y'all. But Suge Knight, he thought he was so much above the law. He tried to send his lawyer to pay people off and stop them from testifying. And guess what? They still testified. Because it was people that wanted Suge Knight to go. And now his lawyer has lost his whole career doing the dirty work for Suge Knight. He's on 5-month probation. And he lost his bar. His name is Matthew Fletcher. He's 57 years old. So in his prime of his career, he can't practice law no more. Well, definitely not in the state of California. I don't know if it's all over, but I'm pretty sure He lost that bar. He lost that bar. And Suge Knight is still in jail facing murder charges. So whatever he tried to do, it didn't work. So with that note, we understand that nobody is above the law. When you live your life with a certain persona around you, a certain aura, people are always going to try to come for you anyway. That make people despise you more than what? Being behind the scenes. Now, a lot of people don't know this. This is some Death Row history. When Death Row first came out, Suge Knight was behind the scenes. Suge Knight did not make his appearance known publicly until it was a particular Source magazine where he was on the cover with him, Dre, Snoop, and the rest of them. Before that, Suge Knight was behind the scenes. Now, if we look at it now, if Suge Knight was behind the scenes and just played the role of an executive, would he still be around right now? Maybe so. Maybe so. People also forget that Suge Knight used to be a bodyguard at Uptown Records. He used to be a bodyguard for Mary J, Jodeci. Suge Knight been in the game. He just hustled his way up with his big bodyguard persona, and he did play football for, you know what I'm saying, for UNLV. But my point of the matter is, no matter how much money he had, no matter how big he got, he still couldn't buy his way out of trouble. And that's why he's sitting in jail, you know, for life. And like I said earlier, he still was lined up and set up because either way, he had to go. Because let's keep it real. If Suge Knight didn't get locked up, eventually somebody was going to probably try to take his life anyway. Why? Because times have been changing and Suge Knight was set in his ways. That's just what time it was with Suge. And we also seen that, you know, Snoop Dogg recently bought Death Row Records. And from what I heard, they say Suge Knight, you know, he was cool with that. But when Suge Knight was out, he still had the goons after Snoop had. So that's why I'm telling you, a lot of them couldn't move around the way they wanted to when Suge was out. So other than that, his lawyer is done. He threw his career down the gutter. Suge Knight still got time. And that just shows you that he probably had a lawyer that just wanted to take his money anyway and knew for a fact that Suge was not going to beat that case. Because some lawyers will sell you out and they'll take your money. Because it's all about that bar. Long as they can still, you know what I'm saying, be down with that bar and still get their money, they don't care about no one particular case. But like I told you, the good lawyers, if they feel like they can't beat your case, they'll let you know off the rip. And they won't pick it up. But that's that on Suge Knight. Now we're going to move on to R. Kelly, as you see in this picture. The Pied Piper. I don't hate R. Kelly. But some people, they act like that's their daddy. And they act like that's their uncle and their big bro. Some people love R. Kelly like that's their secret man or something. And they don't understand he's just an individual. He's just a human being that had a talent on how to sing. That's it. But some of y'all in y'all mind, R. Kelly is some type of lyrical god. And you think that he, you know, he can't be faded too. And I know a lot of people was born to R. Kelly music. But a lot of people don't know he stole his whole swag from Aaron Hall. And that's a whole nother topic. But the point of the matter is, a lot of people was trained and groomed to love R. Kelly, and they don't want to let the fact go that he's a dirty dude. He's just foul. And y'all heard these stories for over 20 years, and a lot of y'all seen the tape with your own eyes. You seen the videotape. They dropped that tape right after Aaliyah died. That R. Kelly tape came out. And for what I heard, allegedly, it was said that being that when Aaliyah died, R. Kelly didn't show no love or compassion for Aaliyah, and that's why there was some people behind the scenes that put that dirt out on him in the first place, allegedly. But many of us saw that tape in shame. You know, at the time it was cool. It was something to watch. It was something to laugh at. But when you look at it now, if you had that tape in your possession, that will be considered child pornography. Y'all know what I'm talking about when he was doing all that peeing. Y'all saw the bootleg tape. We didn't know no better. We was ignorant. I was in my early 20s when that came out. But the fact of the matter is that whole tape is considered child pornography now. I'll tell you right now, if you take that R. Kelly tape, say you had that R. Kelly on DVD, on VCR tape, whatever, DVD, whatever. If you had that tape right now, you try to upload that video, police gonna come to your crib because that tape would be considered child pornography. And y'all saw how young that girl was at that time. So they put it right in your face. But a lot of people turned their head and act like they ain't see it or they ain't know about none of that. Like they ain't see he was 27 and Aaliyah was 15. But we neither here nor there with that. Y'all also heard the stories about how he used to pull up at the McDonald's at the Chicago high schools. You heard people from Chicago tell you these stories years ago. You heard all these stories. You got people that still sit here and say R. Kelly is innocent. Then you got lames like Choke No Joke that tried to pimp the whole R. Kelly situation for clout, to get donations, to get views, to make it like he was holding R. Kelly down, covering the whole child for all the R. Kelly supporters. You know, like he was covering the whole trial, like he was behind the scenes talking to R. Kelly and everything. That's how low Choke No Joke went to lie. But this ain't about him. This is about R. Kelly. Now, let's check out R. Kelly. Boom. Because a lot of people don't want to get this through their head. He was already convicted in the state of New York in a federal courtroom. He is convicted of sexual exploitation of a child, bribery, and sex trafficking. And he already is convicted in New York City. So recently, he's been tap dancing and trying to prolong his next case in August, where he's facing more charges. He's facing 10 more years. And magically, he got some of the same type of charges, but people still want to say this man is innocent. He being set up and he being framed. So I'm going to show you how a lot of people are delusional, because you don't want to accept the fact that he's a human being with flaws and errors. And he's a nasty dude. That's it. It don't mean he's a foul dude. He could be a good man, meaning he might have looked out for a lot of people. He might have gave a lot of money away. He might have helped a lot of people come out the hood. But he the same dude that'll move in your house and help you out with the bills and touch on your kids. That's just who he is. And you got to remember, he has a track record. This is not just one thing. He got a track record. Then what else happened? The people that was actually down with him started snitching on him, and they told on him because they were some of the same ones going to get the little girls. The same people that was helping aid in the bed what he was doing was the same ones that told on him. The same dudes and older women, because remember, women was down with it too. Grown woman was down with it. They was selling their daughters out, and some of them, they was recruiting the young girls because R. Kelly would look out for them. Yeah, you ain't do nothing, but you was with R. Kelly. He gave you $1,500 to go get a couple young girls and bring them back to the studio and say, yeah, we about to drop these tracks. But when the studio session over, y'all already know what's about to happen after that. Allegedly. But I ain't got to say allegedly because he's already convicted. But I'm going to show you something, how people still would defend a fraud, a liar, don't want to accept the truth. All of the people that was down with R. Kelly are the same ones that told on him because they didn't want to go to jail. They didn't want to go to court. They didn't want no accessory. So they snitched on him. That's what helped the charges stick. So for all of y'all that's saying people lying on him, it's a conspiracy. No, it's not. This man been doing this for years. And everybody that was in circle, once he's, because remember, first you heard R. Kelly was going broke. Remember that? You heard he was doing bad. My point is, remember, he couldn't get them shows like that. But you got to understand this one thing. You know, when the entertainer money slow up, they can't look out for people like they used to. They can't pay those bills like they used to. They start, you know, the accountant telling them to, you know, calm it down with the spending. They start budgeting. And when he started budgeting his money, cutting his costs, he stopped looking out for certain people, and those same people started telling on him. Those same people he stopped looking out for, they did the surviving R. Kelly thing. So on that aspect, I would say that was foul, because y'all was down with that man. Y'all should have went to jail with him too. But no, when he couldn't pay them that money no more, and when some of them seen he was about to get that time, they broke out and switched up on that man. Now that's the only part that was done dirty to R. Kelly, that the people he was cool with turned on him. That was foul. But you got to understand that a lot of people didn't want to deal with that shame. Just like it's a lot of you mothers, y'all sell y'all children out for whatever reason. We're not going to get in all of that. So I'm giving you examples that R. Kelly was a foul dude. And he had an appetite for a younger. That was his preference. But the point of the matter is, you just can't sit here and say he being set up. And you can't say that, oh, he ain't do nothing. It's a conspiracy. Because some of y'all think in y'all mind R. Kelly is your father. And some of y'all in y'all mind, you think he's your uncle. You think he's your family member. So my point is, he's already been convicted in New York City of sexual exploitation of a child, bribery, and sex trafficking. Those are 3 charges he's been convicted of in New York City. Now he's facing time in Chicago. He's facing 10 years. Now, what R. Kelly did, because he's a slickster, when he had to go to court recently, he tried to claim he got COVID to prolong his case. Now, he might have did catch C-19, but being that he caught C-19, he couldn't talk with his lawyers, which got his Chicago case pushed up a little bit more. And during this time, now the next publicity stunt he pulled is he's switching up lawyers. And now he has Jennifer Bonjean, or Bonjean, however you want to pronounce it. And she is the lawyer, you know, responsible for appealing Bill Cosby's conviction in 2018. So basically, R. Kelly now, he wants Bill Cosby's lawyer. Now, I will say, in my opinion, I feel like Bill was set up, because I seen the reports, I seen the old videos, I seen the situations on how some of the people that they had going against him was all type of people with shady backgrounds. I seen how one of them was a lawyer that lost to her bar. I seen how some of them people that went against Bill was certain people that was facing time, facing charges on different things, and they had a lot of people that didn't have nothing to do with that bill. Put it like this: some of them Bill witnesses was Fugazi, some of them was. So I seen how they try to line Bill Cosby up. That's my opinion. These ain't facts. And you also got to understand that Bill and Trump did have smoke. And you'll see during Trump time in office, Bill had to sit down. So I'm going to throw that out there. But this is just my opinion. But R. Kelly, he want Bill Cosby lawyer, because in his mind, he can go, he's going to get an appeal. And for those that don't know, he faces his sentencing in New York City May 5th. So you already know that's going to be a big spectacle. That's going to be a big depression. And if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be the same day as Cinco de Mayo, the Day of the Dead. And a lot of people are going to feel dead, like they're dying, when R. Kelly get that time. And they're going to basically put his lights out in court that day. And that's in New York. Now, in Chicago, he faces child porn charges, obstruction of justice. And if he is convicted, he faces 10 years. So you see what's going on with this R. Kelly situation? He's not getting off scot-free nowhere. We also heard, we always say or hear, when it comes to federal convictions, it's a 99% chance that they got what they need and you're going to get that time. Well, R. Kelly is in federal court. So it's a high percentage he's going to get that time in New York. For those that are delusional and you think that R. Kelly is somehow going to escape this madness. But we got to understand, he had a lot of money. He brought this on himself. His appetite became his destruction. For those that know what I'm talking about. And the people that he loved and thought was his friends, they're the main ones that turned on him. So that's how we know the charges on R. Kelly they're going to stick, because a lot of people snitched on him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the situation with R. Kelly. That's why I told y'all before, you got to watch all the people that was campaigning for R. Kelly. People like Choke No Joke campaigning. And he the same type of dude that's a grown-ass man and he ain't got no wife. Not saying that a wife or girl mean nothing, but I look at little stuff like that. Because in my opinion, ain't no man that got a wife going to be campaigning for a man like R. Kelly. Ain't no man with a woman and children going to sit back and camp. Even if in your mind you think he's innocent, you're not going to be campaigning that he's innocent without having all the proof and all the facts. When all the other facts in your face speak otherwise, that he's not innocent, a man with a wife and children is not going to sit here and campaign for this man. And some people are doing it for clout because they know R. Kelly got a huge following. And if you could sell that dream that he's going to beat the case, you're going to have a lot of people tuning in for the latest story. Which shows you how low people will go. And it's a fact that R. Kelly, he probably is going to tell on a lot of people to get his sentencing reduced. But guess what? He ain't so deep. He's still going to get this time. And you know what else is going to happen, y'all? Y'all know also. Now, I also will say this is about, he is going to get robbed for his whole catalog. He is going to make other people rich. They are going to book him for his whole catalog. I will say. Now, that part I will say is a setup, meaning they know who these people are from the rip. They know when they're doing dirt and foul, but they let them live because they keep that money coming in. So they turn their head. But now we see, due to streaming, and they've been ready to dispose of R. Kelly, and his estate, his music catalog is worth hundreds of millions. It's easier to get him out the way and chop up that bag, aka the R. Kelly catalog. And once he's in jail, he won't have no say-so over his music. And once he's convicted, he won't get a penny off his music. And a whole lot of other people are going to be laughing, walking out the bank. What people don't understand is it's people that raise their kids, put their kids through college, all type of things off of people's music catalog. People publishing rights puts generation of kids through school, buy a whole lot of property just off somebody's music rights. Now you see why Prince not here, Whitney Houston not here, Michael Jackson not here. We can go on down the list. And people are still making money off that music. We just recently heard about Snoop Dogg buying Death Row, but what they're not really telling you, Death Row is really Tupac. That's that Tupac money. A lot of people have ate off that pop money. A lot of people are still living off that big money. That money will pay for generations and generations to come off those catalogs. That's how it works. So that's why you heard the saying that some people are worth more when they're gone than when they're around. That's how all that stuff works. But guess what? When you sign that contract, you got to take everything that come with it, because they already told you who you signing to. A lot of y'all already know who controls music, who is the god of music. So once you understand who is the controller of music, you already know who you signing to. That label you signing to, that's just the front man for the greater power that really control music. That's a whole nother discussion. So I don't never want to hear about no entertainer and this, that, and the third when they know exactly what they signing up for when they get the millions. They know what they doing. So with that note, we're going to say R. Kelly is where he at for a reason. And he's still facing charges in Chicago. And I don't think Bill Cosby lawyer going to help him a bit. She's probably going to help book him for some more of that money. And that's going to be that. Now, the next case we're going to get into, which I see has been trending, which I see has broke the news yesterday, is 11 WOO Gang members have been arrested. They've been snatched up and they're facing jail time. For those that don't know, who've been sleeping under a rock, the WOO Gang has been put on the map on a commercial level through Pop Smoke. He actually got songs about the WOO. And for the people from the streets of New York, Brooklyn to be exact, y'all already know what time it is. It's been going on for a minute. They've been doing their thing in the streets for a minute. But you'll see when everything go commercial, that's when the start of the ending start. Being in front of them cameras and being on social media. So for those that don't know, we're going to get into this real quick about how these 11 WOO Gang members were arrested. And what they did was they set themselves up. They wasn't moving Millie. They wasn't moving Mafioso. They wasn't moving Smart. Everything they did, they made a commercial out of it. They was bragging, boasting, flossing, talking too much. And they took the bait that was provided to them, called the C-19 money. Now, these individuals, they paid for over 800 licenses from people. Driver's license, they was paying people. But this is my whole point of this case, what people got to understand, right? They was watching these dudes from March 2020. Now, if I'm not mistaken, what month did Pop Smoke die? Was it not February? January, February. We know Pop Smoke and Kobe Bryant died around the same time between January and February. What up, Tish? What up, Roski Productions? What up, ASAP Auto? What up? What up, family? Now, y'all can put in the chat, if I'm not mistaken, Pop Smoke died in January or February 2020. The end of January, beginning of February 2020. Let's take a look at this. Let's analyze. Common sense would tell you after Pop Smoke died, they was going to be watching the game. And as we can see right here, they've been watching them since March 2020. They've been watching the game. Salute 1090 Bori. Pop Smoke died in February. Exactly. Boom. So common sense, if y'all big homie or the number one breadwinner that put y'all on the map, he died in February 2020, which left an open investigation on his murder. Obviously, they was already watching the game. So they was watching these dudes from March 2020. And they watched them all the way until October 2021. And you also will see this pattern of everybody that was recently arrested for the PPP money and the C-19 unemployment money. You'll see everybody recently got locked up right before October 2021, September 2021, right before the fourth quarter of the last year. You see they started rounding everybody up. But they was already watching people since 2020. Everybody case said the same exact thing. that they was being watched exactly after they withdrew the money from the accounts. So we see that after Pop Smoke died, they was watching the whole gang ever since. We also know that a couple of weeks ago, T.Woo, he got taken out, which also proves to us that they was still under investigation when this happened. Or they was already on their way of being snatched up. And like I told y'all before, what you got to understand, when you see 11 gang members get arrested, 9 times out of 10 out of those 11 gang members, somebody else is going to be telling. But y'all also forget about a couple of months ago, it was already 17 gang members from the same town got arrested, indicted. And I'm pretty sure they already started telling. So this is how the authorities are able to connect the dots. When you see 11 members of a gang get arrested, just know it's about to be a lot more get arrested. But the point of the matter is, right after Pop Smoke died, they was watching these dudes. And everything they was doing was already being documented, recorded. Because when they do gang investigations, or when they do certain investigations, it's going to take them 6 months to 2 years to put it all together. So a lot of time when you think you're running around getting away, they're already on you. But we neither here nor there. Now, there was flashing stacks of cash on social media, as you see in these pictures. The money phone, the stacks, the money pile. You see what they was doing. So we can't even say somebody snitched on them. They snitched on themselves. They also did a video called Trapping, bragging about the money they got and the money they scammed. And some of the lyrics in the song, they said unemployment got us working a lot. Now, let's pause for a minute. We recently heard about the mayor talking about how they're going to be watching all social media platforms of rappers that deal with drill. But what people don't understand is they was already doing that. They just now made it public. They was already doing that because they just told on themselves. They was investigating them for March, which means they already was watching their videos and their platforms. That's why I told you when something come on TV, it's already old. When they tell you what it is, they're ready to push the agenda already. That's how they keep you stuck in time. You don't know past, present, from future, and you always lost. They don't tell you what they're about to do before they do it. They already do it. Then they tell you about it. The same way you know about GPS, but the military had GPS in the late 70s, early 80s. They been had GPS. But you just now got GPS because they done had their way with it. Now you can have it now. I'm not going to get into all of that, but I'm going to show you a pattern of how when you got dudes that's so smart, they think they're so smart and nobody can tell them nothing. They always take that L anyway. And this is what I'm talking about when you're dealing with the old and the new. And I told you it ain't no old against new. It's just that when you're dealing with the street, it's a certain way you got to move. And the first thing people was taught back in the day is not to take pictures. You had dudes who were so paranoid of cameras back in the day, they wouldn't even take a picture in a club with nobody. They didn't even like that. And I'm going to prove something to y'all. Why you think a lot of the old dudes from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, whenever they got indicted, they always showed you what? That club picture with everybody in the picture together with the bottles. Those are the same pictures they was using to indict people back in the day. This one I also learned that some of these clubs are actually owned by law enforcement to line you up. Because they know when you own a club, all the drug dealers and the people that get that fast money going to come to these clubs and spend their bread. That's how they're able to make the cases to see you spending lumps of cash on overpriced Moet bottles, overpriced bottles of champagne. They seen your tab was 10,000 cash. Then they seen what y'all pulled up in your whole team, pulled up in foreigns. They was doing this since back in the day. Also in the clubs, they have undercovers in the club popping bottles right with you. And you think they cool. And you give them your number. And y'all work them deals out. But the whole time they agents in the club. This is how you'll see all the old school drug dealers got taken down going to them clubs. You'll see all the old school drug dealers was in them pictures at the club with them bottles. Deep with 50 niggas in the picture. All those pictures was used to indict a lot of people back in the day. And you always had certain wigs that was high officials. They never got in no pictures with nobody. And if you pulled out a camera, they'll punch you in the face. If you try to sneak record them, they might pistol whip you because you had dudes didn't play them camera games. Then you're going to see as time went on, when the DVDs started popping out, you started seeing a lot of people acting like they was making DVDs and walking around with camcorders. You'll see a lot of these so-called street DVDs that came out. A lot of them people was working back then too. This is the early 2000s. You'll see a lot of people that started them DVDs up in the hood and was walking in people's hood with them cameras. You see them same people that was on video, them same hoods they was going to with them rap cameras. A lot of them was getting indicted right after that. We seen this happen with Rod Diggs. We seen when Rod Diggs was trying to rap. He started being on too many DVDs. What happened to Rod Diggs? He got indicted right after that. I'm just giving you an example. A lot of them dudes that was fake doing DVDs back then, a lot of them was working. And they was helping to get people on camera, posses, crews, affiliations. They was coming to your hood where you trap at, and they was putting all y'all on camera. All those videos was used for later indictments. This been going on for a minute. That's why the real G's and real dudes that was getting money never wanted to be on camera. And if you pulled out cameras, they got paranoid. And if you pulled out a camera, you was automatically suspect. And it was actually lame to be on camera and you was telling on yourself. I'm from that cloth. Because that's what was taught. So you got some people still not comfortable being on camera. It don't mean you hiding from nobody. It just mean that everything had to be broadcast for that time. It's a time for everything. But my point is, as you see in this picture, everybody was flossing the bread. Now let's think about, okay, they did the scam. They got the 4 mil. Let's say if they did flip that money legit and stayed behind the scenes and moved out the city, got low. Can we say some of them might have still been around? Or some of them might have built something great with that bread they took? But all they did was take that money from the government, advertise it on government platforms, and then spend that money right back with the people that gave it to them at the car lots, at the jewelry store. They gave the money right back anyway. And that money they stole is the same money that helped boost the economy. But they the ones going to take the fall. That's why it all was a trap anyway. And the only reason why these pictures are on here because the pictures already been released by the Daily News. This public information and by the New York Post. And this is the exact pictures from their social media platforms. So we can't even say nobody told on them. It's people in the world that are elite, trillionaires. You will never see their face. 100 billionaires. You'll see them on the street, you'll think they're lame. They might have on a Walmart shirt, a button-down checkerboard shirt, and some Levi jeans, and some penny loafers on. And you don't even know they're a trillionaire. And they're going to be in a Honda Accord. A Hyundai. You don't even know they're a trillionaire. Because that's how some people, they move. And it's always a saying, the loudest one is the weakest one. So the person that always trying to show off the most is the ones that usually they ain't used to having nothing or they really ain't got nothing. But my point is, some people also feel like a lot of this scam money was fueling wars that was taking place in your hood. A lot of this money you see that was scam money was buying a lot of pistols. A lot of that money was getting put on people's head. Do we not have proof? We just seen about the lady that put 10 racks on that woman's head. We seen the woman put up 12,000 K in Bitcoin on her boyfriend head. So this money that people were scamming actually was funding wars and funding hits. And at the end of the day, the economy was still able to make it through the pandemic of everybody quitting, getting laid off, you know, jumping ship. This is the money that kept the economy going. But let's look at the other token. This same money could have started a lot of businesses up. Let's be real. Some of that same money they got, if they shorty was in college, if they could have put this, told their peoples, yo, go to their cousin, whoever, go to business school real quick. Learn about real estate real quick. I'm gonna pass you some of this bread and you go buy a couple of houses OT. They could have did that. So even if they would have failed, some of that money would have been washed clean and they still be good right now. They could have got somebody, instead of buying them Lambos and all that, the Maybachs, they could have got somebody legit to go buy a whole bunch of cars from an auction, and then out of town start up a dealership. Bought like 20 regular cars at like 2,000 a piece, 3,000. Bought like 20 cars, started a car lot real quick. Legit. Flip that bread. So I'm showing you they ain't have to be all, you know what I'm saying? Or, they ain't have to be dirty with the money. They could have still took a percentage of that and flipped that bread legit and cleaned it up. But no, they want to have money phones. They want to show the stacks on the people they grew up with, the niggas in their hood, the chicks. They want them to see this is what I got. And now you see they got nothing. And I'm gonna tell you something, real gangs ain't never moved like that. So the only difference between now and once upon a time is that it's social media. And they've been tricked by the rappers. Remember, every behavior you see in this picture was started by rappers. Like, that's why old boy with the glasses, he looked like Future. You did? I'm going to show you how it come from rappers showing their money, showing that clean money. Rappers' money come out the bank. They got black cards. But they had the rappers do it because they knew the people in the street, the young boys, will try to imitate and do the same thing the rappers do. And look what happened. Don't you see old boy with the money phone? Did Jay-Z not come out a couple of years ago dissing people with the money phone to their ear? And they said Jay-Z was hating. So he was an old head hating. Because Jay-Z come from the era where you don't show what you got going on. That's why you see how Jay-Z was able to transition, clean his life up, and be legit. Everybody already know Jay-Z was in the street going from town to town flipping them bricks. He told you himself. Because he come from that cloth where dudes was moving a certain way. It ain't nothing new. It's just that they've been tricked to worship rappers when you got to remember the key thing you got to remember. Back in the day, they looked at rappers as a joke. Dudes that was getting street money was looking down on rappers like they was clowns. Some of y'all might have heard the stories about how people like LL Cool J had to go uptown and borrow money from Alpo. You had rappers back in the day that was getting jerked by their record label. They had to hang with the rappers to keep their image going. So when they went to the club, they had big money spenders around them. So when the label was giving them a little bit of money, they hang with the drug dealers to get a car in front. The drug dealers will let them hold a Benz, let them hold a Beamer, let them hold an Audi 5000. Take them shopping, help them get a chain. Yo, rock my chains, bro. That's how they looked out for the rappers back then. This generation got tricked to worship the rappers, but back in the day, the rappers worshiped the drug dealers, and they didn't do no crime. A lot of them was broke, struggling. That's why they kept a lot of drug dealer crews around them. See, I'm going to tell you the real game. The drug dealers, the gangsters, the criminals always looked at rappers as a joke. That's why when Eazy-E came out for my Cali people, Eazy-E looked at rappers as a joke. He was 8 trade gangster Crip. Eazy-E really got that money from the street. Eazy-E really had that power. But back then he said he want to clean his money up, and he that's when he started. He went and grabbed Dre. In his eyes, Dre was a lame. He went and got Ice Cube. In his eyes, he was a lame. He went and got them and put them together and said, y'all gonna help me make this money. Ice Cube, you gonna write my lyrics. This is what we gonna do. And they'll tell you, if you see any old Eazy-E, he was straight playing around when he first came out. He took it as a joke. But he was real Crip. A real gangster Crip. But back in the day, rappers was a joke. But now, this generation was taught to worship rappers like they gods, like they the most high. So that's why every picture you see, they trying to be a rapper. And that's the same energy that got them all locked up. Because the rapper, once again, they got good credit. They got good, they get their records expunged. They got lawyers. The label gonna look out for them. They got insurance plans. They got real estate. And they're gonna portray the image to you like they still getting dirty in them streets. How many times have we heard rappers say that they don't even smoke weed, they don't even get high, but they promote drugs? How many times have we heard that same story? Because the whole thing is to sell it to your kids who think rappers are their father and they big bros or uncles. So, when they say they cracking down on drill music and they cracking down on hip hop, the reason why they saying that because they actually know what the program is. So it's called Operation Shutdown in that program. Y'all know how a TV show, no matter how big it is, eventually they shut down the TV show and switch the agenda. Well, that's what they did. That's what they doing with music right now. They changing the program. Game over was what it's called. And these are just my opinion. This how I look at things. I ain't trying to tell nobody what to do. I know what's going on. I know what I see. So what you seeing is dudes flossing money for no reason when that money's supposed to be put up in a stash. Let's be real. That money's supposed to be put up in a stash, and you're supposed to be doing what you got to do. Not showing the money. Like I said, one post you showing the money. The other post you showing your guns. The other post you beefing. Now in the video, you're going to rap about how you're dropping bags on people's head. You're going to rap about smoking your ops. So all this is just called telling on yourself. Self-snitching. And at the end of the day, some people actually think this is gangster. It ain't got nothing to do with no error. No, it don't got nothing to do with no age hating. I'm being real. Dudes was taught to be clowns. They don't know no better. They was taught to be a clown. That's why you see them what? Dancing all around, showing off everything, broadcasting, clowning. Because when you dancing, that's considered to be clowning. When you dancing around thinking everything a joke, that's considered to be a clown. And just because you bust your gun don't mean you gangster. I say that all the time. I don't care if you stand on the corner and air out 100-round drum. That don't make you gangster. A gangster is how you move. You always hear the saying, real gangsters move in silence, aka a hitman. See a hitman, you don't see him coming, you don't see him going. You out of there, gone. That's a gangster. A gangster could go on the street, do a whole lot of dirt, and then still come home to his family, hug it, put his kids in the bed, kiss his girl, and eat a good meal and laugh at night and go to sleep. That's a gangster. For those who don't know what a gangster is. A gangster is an individual that'll put a bag on you, your whole family, and sleep good at night, and you don't even know where the hit came from. That's gangster. So my point is, it's been a lot of trickery and a lot of lies and scams, and people been finessed. And People been following a false life. You know what I'm saying? A false reality, thinking that the way they live is going to get them clout. But now we see that the clout that you think you're going to get is going to be your downfall and your destruction. Like I said, your appetite for destruction, the things you love, the things you want to chase, the things you want so bad is the same things eventually that's going to kill you. So this ain't nothing new. And I'm not here to be no preacher, none of that, but I'm going to explain certain things because this, look, everything we see, it don't even got to happen. It don't even got to go that way. Let's be real. It don't even got to go this way. But we live in a time where people are hard-headed, stubborn. They think they know everything, and they think their way is the way, but they don't understand everything we see already been done already. And y'all heard the saying, ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new. Like, I'm going to tell y'all something, right? I was watching an old school movie from back in the day that was before my time, and it's called A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. And the movie took place in Cali. And in the movie, they was showing you how in the 70s, the boy was 13 years old. He was shooting up dope. He was turned out on dope. He had to go to the rehab, came out the rehab, still was shooting up. Some of y'all saw the movie with Cicely Tyson, Paul Winfield. It's a classical old movie called A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. And the little boy was, and this was back in the 70s. He was 13 years old, going out when he want to go out, come home at night when he feel like coming home, cursing out his mother, stealing from his grandmother, stealing for the whole family because he was a junkie at 13. But what the movie was showing us about how back in the day, how the heroin epidemic had took over our people and they was junkies at early ages. So bring it back to 2022. What do we see? Do we not see the young people still being junkies all over again? Is it not just in the form of Percocet, Fetty Wap? They're not banging the needle like that, but what else they doing? They getting through other ways, fake pills. They still on that dope. And that's why I'm telling you, it ain't nothing new. You get a chance to see that movie, go watch that movie. A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. It's from the 70s, but it's a good movie. And it's going to show you how the boy was 13. He was being a follower. He was good in school. He started being a follower. Another young boy took him to the spot. They went to the spot, and the man turned them out. It was an OG up in the crib, tricked him to shoot dope. And after he got him to shoot dope, he said, man, I don't do that stuff. I don't even smoke weed. I don't do none of that. And they was getting a kick out of turning that young boy out. Then they had the young boy be a fiend, had a young boy moving packs. Then the young boy was turned out when he went home, started stealing from his family, all that. Didn't want to listen. And he was a junkie at 13. This been going on. Why you think some of the people you see now, that's older, you know, the OGs, they still fiends because they was fiends back in the day, and their daddies was fiends, and their uncles was fiends, and now they fiends, and they kids fiends. This thing go down a bloodline. This ain't nothing new. So when I saw that movie yesterday, I was tripping out because being that it is Black History Month, this month I've been watching a lot of old movies because the old movies is actually a lot of our history. They just put it in a movie. Everything in a book, a lot of stuff they put in movies and DVDs. That is a lot of history right in your face. They was telling us and showing us what was going to happen and what was going on at that time. So in the 70s, they were shooting up dope in their arm. Nowadays, they take a fake perk. Nowadays, it's Molly. But what they say, in my generation, we ain't do none of that. We ain't go this far. Man, your generation, y'all was smoking crack in your weed. What you talking about? In your generation, y'all was snorting 8 balls of coke to the face and drinking 40s. What are you talking about? You know how many people died of 40s? Do y'all know how many people got their liver shut down from drinking 40s or malt liquor? Why you think they don't sell OE and St. Nines like that no more? Because you had dudes that was smoking crack, mixing it in their weed and drinking 40s. So I don't listen to none of that when they say, oh, back in the day, we ain't do, you lying. You see in the Cosby days, they was doing meth tabs. Back in the day, a lot of these dudes were smoking dust. What you think all that tequila was about? Method Man came out outright and told you what it was. Wu-Tang told you about how they was getting high. Man, they was getting high throughout all the eras. They ain't nothing new. When crack first came out, a lot of people got turned out. Raekwon told you about the combination of cracks and weed made his eyes bleed. They been getting high. But this generation, now that's why I say this generation is bogus, and they try to put all the blame on the young boys because they be trying to cap the high they lies. No, a lot of y'all grew up getting high too. A lot of y'all grew up as little junkies too. And some of y'all are older and you're still a junkie. You still can't kick no habit. So I ain't gonna blame all that on the young boys. So when you see a dude in his 40s, 50s, late 30s, he can't stop getting high because a lot of people's getting high from a teenager. But to also break it down, a lot of this goes back to when they put our kids on Ritalin, because a lot of people don't know that Ritalin allegedly was synthetic heroin the whole time anyway. That's why you'll see most kids that was on Ritalin, when they got older, they started dealing with other drugs. Or you ask, or if you know a fiend in your hood, or you know somebody that get high on heavy drugs, ask them, did they take Ritalin when they was young? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you they was taking Ritalin when they was in school. So all of this, once again, is a program. It ain't nothing new. It's up for you to glitch the matrix. That's all it is. It ain't nothing new. And I ain't here to knock nobody. I'm just keeping it real. Exactly. A lot of people don't know. Remember, when crystal meth came out back in the day around the era of crack, they was calling it ice. And they was talking about how ice had people high forever, for hours, days, and days. It was mainly in California. It was called ice. But we didn't know is we thought ice was dead, and we didn't know that ice was crystal meth, and crystal meth and ice never went nowhere. So now, once Molly became popular a couple of years ago, they switched out the Molly with the meth, and meth looked just like Molly. And a lot of dudes are hooked on meth, and they think it's Molly rock. No, it ain't. You on crystal meth. I know about parts of down south where people have told me out their own mouth how they smoke Molly in their weed. Crush up E-pills in the weed down there. But they ain't doing nothing but smoking meth. There's a lot of people out here with fiend behavior, and they're young. 20s, 30s, teenagers, fiend out. Now, the only difference is it was a time when we knew certain drugs we ain't messing with. Some of us, we grew up scared of crack. We seen the crack vials on the floor. We seen the crackheads acting all crazy. We were scared of that. We ain't messing with none of that. But guess what? Now even the generations have turned. Now this generation is smoking crack. They're playing with the crack rock now. They experiment with the crack. Just putting it in their weed. You dig? High out their mind. Why you think? Look, whenever you see people snatching purses, that's another thing that was in that movie I just told you about. That movie I told you about where the young boy was on dope, they were snatching purses, robbing the old ladies. When you see people snatching purses, robbing women, that's fiend robberies. That ain't no, dudes ain't knocking no old lady up the head for no weed. No, they're trying to get something heavier than that. So that's why you've been seeing a lot of these weirdo crimes. When you see home invasions, that's not because of no bud. When you see them doing home invasions, that's a young junkie. Because we already know it's only for so much money you're gonna get. I'll tell you right now. I don't care if you got a 50-inch in your crib, a 60-inch. Put that TV on Marketplace, try to sell it. I bet you ain't gonna get that much money for your TV. You ain't gonna get them more than $100, $200 for a flat screen, period. 200 tops. Maybe 3 if it's a 75-inch. You ain't getting no money for no TV. So when you got 3 dudes breaking in the house to steal a TV, that's a fiend move because they're not even gonna get no money off the TV they stealing. You got dudes breaking your house for Jordans and a TV. That's fiend behavior. So my point is this. We looking at a time of young fiends that want to be gang members and they want to be rappers. All of this was promoted by the rappers in the game, such as Future and a lot of others, of popping pills, getting high, trapping. And now in this picture, we see the victims of what was promoted. Trying to trap, promoting everything you do online, smoking that weed. They don't understand when they're in front of that camera with that big blunt, they look like a fiend, smoking. You know what I'm saying? They got the blunt. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand it. They looking fiend out. You can smoke your bud, you can chill. But everything ain't for the camera. Because to somebody that don't get high, when you smoking in front of the camera, you looking like a fiend. I'm just being real. But the rappers taught you it was cool. See, they do everything the rappers do. Some rappers be extra nervous and they can't be themselves unless they got a blunt. They high out their mind because they nervous. Some of them can't rock the crowd. They can't be around a lot of people. They be scared. Some of them are cowards. They got to be high. That's why they hit that blunt when they go, you know what I'm saying? And they got you doing it. Following, cloning. When people been getting high forever, it just ain't been on camera. Ain't nothing new. You dig? So my point is this. We now, for a fact, know we've been hearing it all week, the past couple of weeks, that all forms of law enforcement are online. Take it how you want to take it. And what else? We're going to see a lot more people going to jail. It's also been reports that across America, all rent has been going up 20 to 40%. All across America. I just chopped up yesterday about the electric power going up. And for those that just pulled up, when I started on the intro, when I woke up this morning, my power was out. I didn't know I was going to be able to go live. I went to Dunkin' Donuts this morning to see what's going on. And it was other places. The power was on in certain places it wasn't. Then I seen the light I left when I went through the red light, leaving, going to the store, it was working. When I came back from the store, that same light was out. So in my mind, it was playing with the power. Went online, looked up the, you know what I'm saying? They said the power ain't gonna be on at 10 or 1 o'clock. So I thought I wasn't gonna come on. Then about 6 o'clock, the power came back on. See, they play games like that. They play. And it might have been a couple of accidents happen that quick. A lot of people, kids probably gonna be late for school that quick, but these are games they play. My deep freezer started leaking in the kitchen. I gotta mop that up because they want to play these games with the power. So at first I wasn't even gonna come on. I was gonna come on later. I thought it was gonna be dark. I said I ain't got my notes. I can't do nothing in the dark. But magically the lights came back on at 6 o'clock. So that I just got back on. Boom, I pulled up. We here now. But I'm showing you all the games they playing. You know what I'm saying? They playing games. And these dudes, guess what? Yo, check it out. Don't we always have these conversations about why the black community like this? When we all gonna come together, do this, that, and the third. I could have sworn the past couple of years the black community touched a whole lot of money. And it looked to me like when everybody got their money, they went for self. Like my peoples, right? We know 2 people that did the loan for 20 racks. Don't you know the whole time they got their 20 racks, they ain't calling nothing. They ain't pull up, ain't call, ain't nothing. As soon as the money was gone, phone ringing. DMs coming in. So my point is a lot of people got that bread and went for self. So what if that was the money for everybody to come together and start some businesses up? Well, we already see that time was blown. What if that really was reparations given to us? What if this money they got was a slick form of giving us reparations and nobody didn't do the right thing with the money? So who fault is that? Let's keep it solid right now. We can look at it different ways. What if they let everybody scam and that was really a form of reparations? But when it was all said and done, nobody ain't do nothing with it. Rewind once again. Do y'all remember the Dave Chappelle show? I know a lot of y'all remember Dave Chappelle. Do y'all remember the episode he did on reparations when blacks in the hood got their reparations? Do y'all remember that? Did they not show you how niggas went ham with that money in the hood, was buying Cadillac Escalades? They would show how niggas was buying trucks of Newports. Niggas driving around with a truck with a whole bunch of niggas wasn't buying a pack, niggas was buying trucks of cartons. And it was joking saying, KFC just sold out of chicken. David Chappelle showed us this a long time ago on the Chappelle show. When we got reparations. So when I seen us get the PPP money, I said, what if that was a form of reparations? And all niggas did was give it right back anyway. See, y'all got to understand the game. Y'all saw it. And if you didn't see it, you need to go back and watch that Dave Chappelle episode of when we got our reparations, what was going to happen. The only difference is in the TV, in his show, everybody went and bought the new Escalades. Now we know everybody went and bought foreigns. But all this is already written. And we also got to remember what? All of this only happened in a 2-year span. That's what a lot of people not understanding. All of this happened in a 2-year span. We got the money and blew the money in 2 years. These particular individuals have $4 million. They tried to get 20. They put in applications for $20 million worth of bread. But they only got their hands on 4 million plus. And you got to remember, they was in the hood. And remember, this is just only one fraction of people that did it. So my point is, do we not have the money to start our own whatever we want? You know, did we not have the money to start it all up? Or when we got the money, did we become more selfish and started more beef with each other and killed each other? You see? What if they just made that money available so people can get that money and come up, and then certain people that's racist wear hate and say, man, you giving them all on reparations? Maybe they just disguised it as PPP money and gave you a chance to come up. See, people don't, I look at things all type of ways. But they see that once you got the money, you ain't even do nothing right with it. Also, what's been reported is what? The drill rapper K Flock got violated in jail on Rikers Island. That's the story. I heard about it 2 days ago. I seen yesterday it was trending. So do we not see an attack on drill music? Literally, we seeing the drill gangs get shot. We seeing them get locked up, and we see the one in jail. They trying to flip on him. So if you got eyes to see, you can see it's blatantly some type of attack going on. And my point is this. They already got all the videos recorded. They already got all the social media platforms screen recorded. And now it's all just a matter of time. Because a lot of people going to be going to court this summer and this spring. And like I said, I think next year from this time, it ain't going to be as many people around as we think it is. And like I told you, a lot of people are being replaced. That's just what it is. So that's why you're not even going to notice the numbers, because the numbers are being replaced by other numbers, if you know what I'm talking about. Yep, that's a fact. If you know about the gang life in jail, you also know that power changes in jail as well. Each gang gets their time to reign and control the system. We also might be looking at an evolution of that as well. That's why I keep telling certain people, this ain't the time you want to go to jail. What else we understand? When these individuals get indicted and they go to jail, they're a different gang. So other gangs going to be in jail waiting on them. And that's how the jail wars keep going on. You dig? So that's how we see what's going to happen when you go to jail now. I don't care if you go federal, state, you're not going to have a pleasant bid no more. You know, it was a time when dudes could do their bid with their feet up, chilling. Nowadays, you're not going to have no sweet bids like that. They're already overcrowded. It's way more gang activity behind the wall now than back in the day. And it's a whole lot of hatred. So my point is this. You might go to jail for a couple of months, a couple of years, and you might not make it home. That's what's going on now. And I done said that a million times. But I had to tie all this together. I'm also going to tell you about another big gang that's been running the scene the past 2 years, allegedly, called Black Lives Matter, or BLM. When they call them BLM, that's the gang. But Black Lives Matter. Now check this out. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation is suspended from Amazon, or shall I say Amazon's charity platform, after failing to disclose where tens of millions in donations received have went. And they saying that BLM took in more than $65 million. And they don't know where the money at. So riddle me that one. Now, is Black Lives Matter a smarter gang than the WOO gang? Because we heard about people that just swindled 65 million and we don't know where it's at. And you got people that got caught before. Now do the math on that. And we already had these talks. I'm not going to go into it. You seen how Black Lives Matter was pulling up in your hood. It was all black. Masks on. Her Scully's on. Putting in work. Beating people up too. Burning stuff down. Kicking out windows. Beating up. Man, they was jacking and everything. Knocking over statues. Violating. And I told you they got paid for it. And a lot of them sit back counting that bread right now, chilling, because you don't know who they was, because they had masks on their face like criminals. We seen some of their OGs recently go to jail. I did a story the other day about how one of their members ran up in Kentucky and tried to clap the mayor. Try to shoot him with the Glock. So that's why if I was you, I wouldn't play with BLM. They put in that work. So guess what? Remember, it's a saying. Remember, peep game. You got what? Criminal organizations, and then you got so-called legitimate organizations. But they all deal with the same activity, scamming. Because according to Amazon, they have a charity platform. They say BLM took in more than 65 million in donations, and they don't know where that bread went to. So that's why we also could look at this like what? The pandemic was a come up for some people. Everybody's not going to be doing bad. Everybody's not doing bad. We got facts. Some people actually came up at other people's demise. You heard? But they scammed 65 million. So I want to know what some people got to say about that. Baby, I need to get down with Black Lives Matter because they getting bread. That's called selling out. You see me post up with a Black Lives Matter shirt, just know I sold out. All right? I need some of that money. But to seem to me like the WOO and the Bloods, the Crips, every other gang getting indicted, going to jail. But these people in these organizations, they getting all the money and they chilling. They got new property. You know what I'm saying? They've been on shopping sprees. Let's keep it real. Y'all see, look. These people in organizations and protesters, they be wearing designer. They be wearing designer, little diamonds here and there. They got foreign cars, big Escalades. They chilling. They ain't working a day. Y'all see what's going on? They booking hotels around the world. They going to Vegas, Miami, acting like they going to fight crime. They chilling out in Miami. Scamming. But these particular individuals have scammed for 65 million. And they took all that in donations, meaning free money. So it wasn't a crime. And they don't know where the money at. So that's why I said it's like this the criminal episode. That's what this is right here. This the scamming, scheming, conniving episode right here. But the thing that's crazy, everybody on this screen took a fall. And the people that took this 65 million, we don't have not one picture, none of them. Now, ain't that something? It's crazy out here. But it is what it is. It's Friday. And we're going to do what we do. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Chill out today. Have you a drink, whatever you're going to do. Eat something good. Relax. It's Friday. So I know it's just another day. I know, because some people, y'all technical, y'all want to be on every little thing. Yeah, I know it's another day. I know that. But what I'm saying is, do what you do today. Try to relax, and then tomorrow take a rest. Tomorrow, the next day, whatever, unplug. It's okay to unplug sometime and relax. Test yourself. See how long you can go without doing something stupid, or just see if you can just go without nothing. Just relax. Relax your mind. Most of you people, sometimes even me, most people can't even just close their eyes for 5 minutes and shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's called meditating. Because we live in a world of chaos, and that's hard to do. So yeah, I got jokes, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, we all got to take a break. But anyway, I done touched on just about everything for today, because I didn't even think I was going to make it today. And I'm being real. Also, for those that don't know, it was a shooting on the Long Island Railroad. The same exact railroad that Colin Ferguson did that shooting in 93 when he shot up all them people. Now, I don't know if this was a ritual, but the same exact train, somebody did a shooting the other day on the same exact train. Randomly got on, started busting shots. Randomly started busting off shots. And people from New York City know that the Long Island Railroad is the safest train. That train allegedly goes to the suburbs, allegedly. Even though we know it still pop off on Long Island, but I'm just saying, a lot of people that work at Wall Street be on that train, people that work in the city, people with good jobs, that's supposed to be the good train. And somebody got on there the other day, was popping off shots. So it just shows you all of these PSYOP operations going on and all of this chaos. That's why I say sometimes you just got to chill and relax. Do whatever make you happy. I'll say that. That's what you need to do. Do whatever make you happy. Just do that for one day, because you got to balance all of this out. That's what I'm going to try to do this weekend. You heard? But other than that, salute to the chat. Everybody in the building, we here. Latasha Jordan, what up? Gotti Savage. Y'all already know. What up, Juice? The Juice Show. I see you, Queen. Little twerker. I'm still trying to find out what you twerking. Mr. X, what up, bro? Y'all already know, man. Salute to everybody in the bushes, too. Anyway, I'm going to do a recap and I'm going to slide because I started late and I ain't going to hold y'all. Suge Knights Lawyer has been convicted of bribery and conspiracy. He lost his bar. This is a man that went to college for years and years and years to get that degree. He had to pass that bar, bust his head to pass the bar to become a lawyer. And now it is all down the drain. He's another regular citizen again. And he was trying to pay off people that was going to snitch on Suge Knight, people that was going to testify. He was going to try to, his job was to pay them off. And maybe he didn't pay them off on purpose so Suge Knight can get that time anyway. Who knows? I also went on a rant earlier about how some of these lawyers sell you up the river anyway and just take your money. But this lawyer you see in this picture with Suge Knight is the man that lost his bar. He can no longer perform as a lawyer in the state of California. He is on 5 years house arrest. And he tried to pay off a lot of people. And allegedly they told on him. And now his life is down the drain. And Suge Knight is still in jail with life. That's for those who just pulled up. That's the recap. But take it back to the beginning. I went into more detail about how, in my opinion, Suge Knight was set up from the gate anyway. The next thing I spoke about was some of y'all granddaddy, R. Kelly, some of y'all daddy, y'all big bro, y'all uncle. He's trying to get Bill Cosby lawyer because he feel like when he go to Chicago, he's going to get spanked again. He's facing 10 years for child pornography and obstruction of justice, trying to hide evidence. And he was already convicted in the state of New York for sexual exploitation of a child, bribery, and sex trafficking. The sex trafficking charge alone is going to do him in. And he's going to be sentenced in May, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be May 5th, which is going to be Cinco de Mayo. So that might be the date of the dead for R. Kelly. So I'm not going to kick R. Kelly while he's down, but you got to understand that his appetite brought him where he at, and he had a lot of people helping him what he was doing. That's why he told you he was the Pied Piper. And if you know who the Pied Piper was, you'll know exactly who R. Kelly was. And look, put it like this, because some of y'all are stupid, right? Go study who the Pied Piper was, Peter Pan, and you'll see who he really was. And then you see why R. Kelly called himself the Pied Piper. And you'll see wherever he went, a lot of people followed him, and they follow him because of his music. And it just so happened the people that followed him was young girls. And the people that helped him was grown-ups. And some of them was even parents that said, you go, it's okay if they go with you, it's okay. Some of it was consented. I will say that. Because some of them parents wanted that money. Either way, R. Kelly is convicted. He's guilty in the state of New York. And he want Bill Cosby lawyer. But I don't think that's going to help him. So for you R. Kelly supporters, you might as well just get to playing your R. Kelly music today, all the way up until May. You might as well just play his whole catalog, get your streaming, downloading, all of that. And maybe you might help R. Kelly put some more money in his pocket. Because when it's all said and done, he is not going to own the rights to his music. He's going to sell them. They're going to take it from him. That's all you got to know. I also spoke about the 11 WOO gang members that were arrested, aka indicted. They told a whole operation on social media platforms. They also got them on social media with certain comments like, yo, bro, I need New York pros with DL ASAP. And they was actually referring to driver's license. That's the DL. So they was telling on themselves through texts, pictures, rap songs, videos, all of that. Now you see why the New York City mayor said they want to put the pressure on all social media platforms to shut down a lot of behavior that's been going on. I'll just leave it at that. So with that note, I'm going to let a lot of this stuff be because it's history and it's Black History Month. So this is going to go in the books as another chapter in Black History Month for 2022. And this whole topic is draining because I'm tired of speaking on the same thing every day. But guess what? We're going to keep seeing it and what? Until it's all over with. So that's what's going on right now. Everything you thought was entertainment, now you see it's turned into a scary movie. That's what's going on right now. Everything you seen you thought was entertainment is becoming the new reality. In my opinion, these are not facts. But it's people right in your face being put on the slave ships. That's why when they shackled them up, they looked the exact same way when they was on them boats. Look, the exact same change. So that's all I'm going to tell you. A lot of this stuff is simple. When you see Suge Knight in that picture, he's a man that has no power. He looked like a big slave. When you see R. Kelly in that picture and that white man smiling in his face, knowing he's not going to get him off that case, taking his money, you see R. Kelly right there looking like a slave. If I took that R. Kelly picture and I put it next to a picture of a slave from the 1800s, they're going to look like the same people. That's all I'm telling you. And these dudes in the picture with these money phones and these stacks, they're going to have on the same exact uniform. So that's what I'm trying to show you. Well, if you think he's getting acquitted, that's what you think. He is not getting acquitted. I'll tell you that, in my opinion. He's not getting acquitted, bro. You must have wasn't here earlier when I broke it down. The people that was providing him with the underage girls are the same people that told on him and testified against him behind the scenes. They the same ones that wrote the statements. Because when a person they get jacked up and they say, you the one that brought the 16-year-old girl to him. You the one that brought that 15, 17-year-old. We got you. We already know for a fact you the one that brought it to him. That person gonna tell. And they're gonna work a deal. Well, look, if you tell her, if you admit to us that you went and got a couple girls for him, we'll leave you out of this case. And that's what a lot of them did. A lot of people told on him. His closest people told on him. Now, maybe if those people didn't tell on him and it was his just word against other people's word, maybe he would have beat it. But it's too many people that told on him. A lot of people got mad at R. Kelly because he wasn't breaking them off no more, and they snitched on him. Then what you got to understand about law is when he was doing the actual sexual transporting, or should I say, I'm going to break it down simple and plain for you. When he was going on them tours, it could have been some people in his circle purposely setting him up, purposely picking out underage girls and putting them on the bus with him on purpose, lining him up. That's how it worked. And I'm going to be real, some of the people he probably didn't know was underage on them buses, but some of the people around him, they knew. It was setting him up the whole time. So my point is, either way, they made it where a lot of charges going to stick. And you got to remember, he has more than one charge. He has a lot of charges to beat. So it's not like he's just going to beat this charge and get off. He's not just going to beat one. No, he got so many charges with a lot of time. He's not getting off scot-free. So that's why I know you don't know the law. And I'm not disrespecting you, but I'm going to tell you, you don't know the law. And the feds don't play and they don't waste no time. And he ain't John Gotti, and he ain't the Teflon Don, and he ain't beating the feds. So let's make that clear. So whether you support him or not, you don't understand law. And guess what? If he beat the charge, if he beat the case, I'll get on here and I'm going to apologize. And after that, I'm going to play an R. Kelly song. So that's what I'm going to do if he beat it. But he ain't beating that case, in my opinion. You heard? I don't got to learn nothing before I speak. I don't listen to room. I listen to facts. And you the same fool going to say you ain't an R. Kelly supporter. Just say you an R. Kelly supporter. That's all you got to say. And you might be the same type of dude like R. Kelly. That's why you campaigning so hard. You might got the same behavior and you scared. You better hope you ain't on R. Kelly time and you about to get indicted. Because like I said, only a fool is going to sit here and campaign for a man when he got all these charges on him. I wouldn't even waste my energy debating if he's innocent or not. So if he is innocent, good for him. But he got a lot of proof to do. And you probably the same one that got that VHS, that same video in your possession. And you probably watched that too. And he ain't the one that peed on that girl. That was his brother. I know you the same dude. They're going to say that. Anyway, to each his own. That's your opinion. So I can't knock you for your opinion, but I can speak my opinion too. That's all I'm saying, bro. And I ain't mad at you. Because really, you just telling on yourself that you support R. Kelly and you support people with that type of behavior. And I told y'all, for those who listen to my show, you don't always go to jail for what you did. Sometimes you go to jail for something you didn't do. But the point of the matter is, if you didn't have that lifestyle, you wouldn't be in this situation. And those are facts. If your whole swag was dealing with older women, bad chicks, older women, you wouldn't be in a conversation now, would he? Mr. Sultry speaking. If he had an appetite for older women, he wouldn't even be in this conversation. So that's how I'm going to shoot that down right there. Simple. It's very, very simple, my man. But obviously, you like to indulge in that type of activity. You like to entertain that type of behavior. That's how I know what type of dude you is. And you also probably the same dude trying to capitalize off all the R. Kelly fans while he locked up and selling false hope. And I ask you one question. If you had a child or a daughter, would you have let her get on the bus with R. Kelly? Would you have let her chill with R. Kelly for the weekend and go out of state? Then again, you probably would have. And that's your business. I don't care. Anyway, I just had to let you expose yourself real quick and get your shine. You heard? And that's how I know you're new to this channel, because you're talking nonsense and you don't know the law. So it is what it is. Now, there you go. Now that's how I'm going to bust your head. Racketeering, Mann Act, that's what the feds charge him with. No, it is not. Stupid. He is convicted of sex trafficking, bribery, and sexual exploitation of a child. That's what he is convicted of. And the sex trafficking charge alone holds time alone. He is the poster child for sex trafficking, just like Jeffrey Epstein. That's how I know you don't know what you're talking about. And that's how I know you might got Chester behavior. You might be a Chester, aka a tree jumper. You might be, allegedly. I don't know. But you campaigning real hard for R. Kelly. I'm not saying that man guilty. The court said he was guilty. The paperwork is right here. He's already convicted, fool. He's waiting to be sentenced. So that means what? A judge in a court of law said that he was guilty. So what are you talking about? And I also want to know what you got to say about the charges he's facing in Chicago, the 10 years. What you got to say about that, Mr. Smart Guy? He innocent on that too, right? You're just a weirdo. And these are the reasons why people don't respect old men with salt and pepper hair, because they soft and they talk stupid. You get it? That's why the youth don't respect people like you, because you sound like a fool and you a coward. You know why you're a coward? Because you sitting here campaigning for a man that's been convicted, lying, talking about racketeering and Mann Act when that ain't even his charges. That's how I know you a fraud. Anyway, you just gave us some entertainment for this morning, and it's Friday, and we're going to have fun. And I told you, sometimes you never know when a comedian going to pull up. And it also shows you how a lot of black men are cowards and they weak. And a lot of them, they got Chester behavior. You dig? And they proud of it too. That's right. Now everybody know he's a lot. Now look, let's look at this fraud. He said, you're the one asking for Cash App support. Now let's look. Y'all don't see me begging. My people already know I don't beg for Cash Apps. You dig? And I know for a fact your channel is monetized, and I bet you any amount of money if I go to your channel, you're the main one campaigning for R. Kelly freedom and lying to the people saying he about to get out. And I bet you you're monetized. And I bet you every R. Kelly video on your page is monetized. So don't play that game with me. My people already know if they want to donate, they can donate. If they don't, they don't. And what I actually might do is later show a picture of my YouTube monetization and show you that I haven't even got my PIN code, which means I haven't even received not one check yet. And just for you, I'm going to do that later. But what I'm going to prove to you is people that listen to me know I don't beg for donations. It's on the screen. If they donate, they don't. I put on every day, all day. I do my thing. I get on here and I start to cook. And I provide information. You need some clout, and you a Chester, and hopefully the Chesters go subscribe to your channel. So if you a Chester right now, you go subscribe to Sultry Speaking. Go check out his channel, and I bet you it's whack, and I bet you he's a lame, and he's an old head trying to find his way on YouTube. He might work for them people too, because he out here spreading false propaganda. You dig? Yeah, I said false propaganda, and I know propaganda is false. So my point is this. You need to go where you came from, because you ain't welcome here, bro. period. And I'm not going to block you neither. All I want you to know is you telling on yourself, and we need you, people like you, to pull up so you can show the world that it's people like you that's always going to be opposite. And you're one of the reasons why black people not going to get nowhere. And you also prove that you're not a man that's willing to protect women, period. And you also might be the type with sugar in your tank. And all this is alleged information. It's not a fact. I'm not slandering you. This comedy right now. Because right now you gave me something to joke about. You dig? This how I joke. So in my opinion, you look like a Chester. You look like a sellout. And I just hope you don't be around no little girls neither. I hope and pray that you don't be around no young women. And I hope you are not on R. Kelly time. That's all I'm going to say. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, they bold. But as you see, he might be a Chester right here because he's going hard for R. Kelly. I told you some people get mad when you talk about R. Kelly. They get pissed. We can talk about everybody else, but don't talk about R. Kelly. And we see that this man's been convicted in a court of law, and this man want to still get up here and tell bold-faced lies, talking about that man charged with racketeering. No, he is not. That man is charged with sex trafficking, sexual exploitation of a child, and bribery. So what are you talking about? Anyway, thanks for pulling up, Mr. Sultry speaking. We enjoyed your company. And that's that. He worried about what my cash app under my screen. You see that? You see a nigga hating on another black man? That is a definition of a nigga. That want to come in my building, come in my crib, and try to argue with me. You see that? That's why, yo, you the type of dude, if you was talking junk at my door, I would let you in just so I could smoke you. Because you want to come in my crib and violate my guests, see? But what happened is you got embarrassed. And you're welcome to pull up anytime you want to expose yourself. Because, look, man, I don't have no problem cooking no dude. And I don't have no problem with letting people see that it's weirdos out here. And it also shows you that certain people, we not never going to come together. Because some people always going to stand for what's wrong. You dig? That's just what it is. So I just told y'all earlier, you can feel how you want to feel about R. Kelly, but it's not cool to be campaigning about that man. You're not going to make yourself look good because you can't justify something that's wrong. And like I said earlier, and I'm going to say it this last time, if he didn't have an appetite for younger, he wouldn't be in the conversation, period. That's like you can't complain when you go to jail for selling drugs, even though you ain't sell no drugs, but you hung in a trap every day with the homies. You got indicted for being a gang member, but you ain't do nothing but go to work and come home. But you hung around the gang every day when they was putting in work. You can't cry. If you wasn't hanging around a gang, you wouldn't be indicted in gang activity. If you wasn't hanging around little girls, you wouldn't be caught up in sex trafficking. It's simple as that. So you probably smart with a college degree. You need to figure that one out real quick. You said dude like a fake Lenny Williams. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. Anyway, he wanted some clout. And like I said, ain't nobody in here gonna subscribe to you anyway. But I do want y'all to check out his page and see if he's an R. Kelly supporter. And I bet you any amount of money, he's an R. Kelly campaigner. And he's the one doing it for clout and YouTube checks. It is what it is. I ain't here to debate. Older men and younger women is not a crime. You're right. Underage is. You're right about that. 100% right. You're 100% right. But I'm not here for that discussion right now. To each his own. You do what you do. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about nobody's life and what they do. Like I said, if you want to hump dogs, hump dogs. If you want to run up on a squirrel and try to finesse a squirrel, you finesse a squirrel. I don't care. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But when you get caught out here, you get exposed, you get embarrassed, you get clowned, that's on you. You got to hold that. I don't care about none of that. That's the problem. People care too much about other people. Y'all think everybody your family member. You're caught up in everything everybody else doing. And that's what I don't do. I don't care. I keep it moving. Today, Friday. I'm going to have a good day. I have fun with the people. For No Fame Live, episode 108. Thank y'all for pulling up. Thank y'all for staying tuned. You dig? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe, hit the all notification bell, and leave a comment. And other than that, I ain't really got too much to talk about. And I don't really care about your opinion, Mr. Salt and Pepper Head. With that note, I'm Ghost. I'm up out of here. And you stay away from them Chesters and them tree jumpers. And I'm out. One.